Martin Burnham. When he was a little boy, his parents became missionaries in the Philippines. And Martin loved airplanes. He used to build his own airplanes. One even flew with a little motor. Well, this is me. I'm Gracia. And when I was growing up, I was a bookworm. Do you know what a bookworm is? They love to read. And some of my favorite stories were missionary stories. I loved them. When I grew up, I went to the same college as Martin, and we got to know each other and we fell in love. And Martin became a pilot, and he thought maybe God could use my gift of piloting on the mission field in the Philippines. Well, sure enough, he could. Martin became a missionary pilot, and he used to fly missionaries and supplies into the jungle areas. Guess what I did when Martin flew? I sat by the radio, and I would talk to the missionaries and ask them what they needed and help them any way I could. Well, one day, Martin and I were going to go and celebrate our anniversary at a very special place. And while we were there, an awful thing happened. Bad guys burst into our room, and they took us hostage. They took us as prisoners. And for more than a year, we were in the jungle as prisoners. But God taught us some very important things in the jungle, like forgiving our enemies and trusting God and knowing that God has good plan for us. Well, I'm sorry to say, Martin died in the jungle, but I got to come home and raise my children, and my kids aren't little anymore. They're grown now, and they love the Lord, and they have a heart for the world and God's word. And that's the story of Martin and Gracia Burnham. And people always say, is that a true story? Yes, it's a true story.
That really
God
writes good stories, doesn't he?
What do you think?
It's a good story. Yay! I'm so glad you ordered